Hello again, everyone. We are back with another video to go over some other MobyMax features. Now that we're giving placement tests, our students are completing them, we are getting results. Wanted to make another video to take you through kind of the next step in the process of using MobyMax to make sure that our kids get what they need and we can get good data and information on them. So a couple things that we're going to go over in this quick video. The first is how to hide subjects so your students don't see all of these subject areas, some of which may be unnecessary or unused for your students, depending on what you're working on them with MobyMax. The second thing that we're going to talk about today is how to find your placement test results or your benchmark results and the skills that are automatically assigned to your students. So first, just a quick plug. This program that I'm using is a web-based program that I found called Screencast-O-Matic. It's free download. I'm using it on my Mac right now. It's very simple. So if you want to use this with your class for like a flipped classroom experience or experiment, by all means you can do that. I'd be happy to show you how to do it. The good thing is you can upload it straight to YouTube, so you don't need a lot of space on your computer if you want to do a screencast or a flipped classroom. So that's my plug. All right, let's get into some logistical stuff in hiding some subjects for your students. Right now I'm logged in as Caitlin Stam. Caitlin, hope you don't mind. Thanks for loaning your account to me. So there are all these subjects here, and depending on what you're working on with your students, you may not need all of these, and it can be confusing for your students on which tile to click in when you want them to do some practice or to do some work. So MobyMax does have the feature to hide some of these from your students. I want to take you through that. So if you go down here to Teacher Administration, we built our roster last time. We're going to click into Curriculum Settings. If you do this, this will give you some general settings. You can look around with this. There's the option maybe for some of the older grade levels to turn off the automatic read aloud sections if you prefer to do that. There's some other features that you can look at in here, but what we're going to be focused on is this third tab over here, Hide for My Students. So if you click on that tab, you'll see all of the subjects and modules that are available in MobyMax. If you click any one of these, it will then hide that subject on your student screen when they log in. Right now, Messenger is currently hidden from students from Ms. Stam's class. So feel free to go through, look at these subject areas, think about what you are going to use MobyMax for, and you might want to think about hiding some of those other things for your students so they're not confused in what their directions are. Now, quick caveat to this. For teachers that share students, so for our 5th grade teachers, our 6th grade teachers, or any of our special education teachers with their general ed teachers, if you hide a subject on your page, it also it's for that student account. So if you hide math, but then the math teacher wants kids to use MobyMax, the kids won't be able to see it. So make sure that you work with your team to make sure you're not hiding subjects that a colleague of yours is going to want their students to have access to. So remember, you're hiding it not from your account only, but it's for the student account, regardless of how they use MobyMax or who they use it with. So just be mindful of that. So you can go in, you can play around with this, and then it'll kind of clean up the desktop of a student's screen. Great. So that's the first thing that we wanted to cover. I always get back by clicking the icon in the top left. That will get me back to this page. So let's talk about finding placement test results. So everyone took the math placement test, and in grades K to 2, you took the foundational reading placement test. The process for finding those results are exactly the same, so we'll use math to go in and look at those placement test results. So if you click on the math tile, you will see this, and this is going to be different from the last time we had a video because before this snapshot was empty. So you can see now that because students have taken the placement test, we're starting to get some data and some information from this snapshot. This will continue to populate as kids work through MobyMax, and as they do more lessons and make more progress, you'll begin to see the snapshot become just more and more robust with what it's going to tell you. But what we're concerned with is up here, if we go to placement, we can click on that and we can get another quick snapshot of our results. So placement test results come in the form of a grade level equivalent. So you'll see here the different grade levels that our students were given based on their placement test results. Going to be all over the place depending on who you have sitting in front of you. But this is our first good kind of 10,000 foot view metric of where our students are in their math standards knowledge or their math mastery. Anything that you ever see in MobyMax that is blue will be a clickable link. So if I click on this, it's going to give me more information for this particular student that I just clicked on. So you can see here are the results of this student's placement test. So obviously they're a 6th grade student, so this student quickly worked through all of the lower grade standards, and now we start to see where the standards are that they missed. So they missed a few standards in grade 5, and they missed a few standards in grade 6. This is actually an impressive result. They just started grade 6, and they already have 41% of those grade 6 standards mastered. So this is an impressive student. Remember blue over here means a clickable link, so if I drop down this grade 5, I get a little more information on what specific standards in grade 5 the student has mastery of. Numbers and operations, fractions, they're good with, but looks like they need a little bit of help in grade 5 with operations and algebraic thinking. So I can drop down there and I get, again, more information on the standards that this student missed on that placement test. So really good information for teachers as they look through and start to develop some individualized plans for their kiddos. If I want to see this student's actual placement test, what they actually did, here's a blue link up here. It's the placement test for all grade levels that they took on Wednesday. If I click on that, it's going to open up a little pop-up menu, and this is this student's actual placement test with whether they answered the question correctly, the standard that was asked, the time they spent on each question, and I can go through question by question to see how this student performed. So if there's a standard that popped out to you and you want to take a peek as to what that student missed or where the stumbling blocks may have occurred, you have the option to go through step by step and see where the student may have been tripped up. You can also get a pretty good gauge of whether the student was actually taking this assessment seriously and giving their best effort based on the time spent per question. So this is all here for you, and you can really get into the weeds as much as you want. You can toggle here by just the missing standards, and it'll break down what those standards are for each kiddo. Blue links, it'll read you what that standard is and the lessons associated with it. So you can really get lots of information just from this placement test. Again, we're in mathematics in the placement tab, and I'm just clicking through all of the blue links that I see to get individual information on my student. All right, so let's talk about the lessons that are assigned to students based on the placement test. So if I go one tab over, I'm going to see lessons. And right here, it's going to show me, again, my roster. And these are the lessons that a student has completed. So yours might be a little blank right at the start. But if you go over to Assign, it will show you for the individual students what lessons have been assigned to them. MobyMax automatically assigns 10 lessons to students based on the results of their placement test. You'll see here that some students have 10 lessons assigned. Other students, it doesn't look like anything has been assigned to them yet. That's not actually the case. What students have to do is they have to click back into that math tile after their placement test, and then you'll see those 10 assignments or those 10 lessons assigned to kids. So again, if I click on this student, it's going to show me the 5th and 6th grade lessons that are assigned based on his placement test. So remember, he was missing some of those 5th grade standards. So here are the lessons that are assigned to that student. We're in grade 5. The check mark means MobyMax has automatically assigned those lessons to that student because he missed it on the placement test. It might be a quick review for that student, and I'll work through it really quickly. It might need a couple tries, but we want to make sure that we're catching those standards that are below grade level to catch our student up. So again, if I go back to Show All Students, I can do that for every student and check out what assignments or what lessons have been assigned to that student. This process is the same for mathematics as it is for foundational reading. So just in the interest of time, we won't go through the foundational reading because I do want to quickly touch on for our upper grades, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, where you find your reading skills literature benchmark data. We do that again by going not into this Moby Learning page, but into Moby Assessments. So if you click on that, you'll get this page. You gave the reading skills literature benchmarker, so you'll click on that again. And again, this is different because you now have a snapshot based on the benchmark test that your students took. So you can quickly see we gave the grade level below. So this is a 5th grade benchmarker for our 6th grade students. And here are the scores that they received based on that benchmarker. The snapshot and the results are going to look pretty similar right now because it's only one assessment, but you can go and you can check that out. Everything is clickable. Here's the scores for this particular student. Happens to be the same student we were looking at. And again, it'll give you the breakdown of each standard and how they performed on those 5th grade ELA standards. Now, assigning lessons for this subject area is a little bit different. MobyMax does not automatically assign those what they call remediation lessons. So for the teachers that gave this reading skills lit benchmarker, you're going to have to assign those remediation standards. The good news is it's really easy. So I'm going to back up just so I can take you through that process. So here's my snapshot. If I click on an individual student, I will see the score for that benchmark test. And here's the page that I was just in. And you can toggle over here to say missing standards. So if I click on that, it's just going to show me the standards that this student has not shown mastery of based on the benchmarker. If I click this box that says standards, because I'm in missing standards, it's going to select all of those missing standards. And I can then hit assign remediation lessons. And that's that for that student. If I go to next, I can select all of those lessons. I can hit next. It's going to ask me to sequence them. We're going to put all of these at the top, especially since we're just starting. We're not going to set a due date. We're just going to hit finish. And now those assignments are all set for that student. So you're going to have to do this for every student. I haven't found a way yet to do it in bulk for your class. So you're going to need to go through that process, for each student. So we just did Alexander here. I can click the arrow, go to my next student, go to my next student, maybe not. Okay. Well, I can go back, I can go down to my next student and go through that same process. So you'll assign those remediation lessons from the benchmarker, and then when the student logs in to their Moby Learning account, they will see under Reading Skills Literature these lessons that I just assigned to Alex. There they are right here. Here's the current lesson that's on quoting text. So they show up in the Moby Learning page for your students. All right, that's it for now. A little longer of a video. Thanks for sticking with me. Reach out if you have any questions. I'm glad to hear that the first video was helpful. I hope this is equally as helpful, and I'll continue doing these. Have a good weekend, everyone. Thanks. Bye.